brought something for you to help enjoy the mead.
Ooh!
It's my wife's, so
Wow.
be careful, but I'll pour you some.
Oh, that's amazing.
You might as well drink it authentically.
Oh. Oh. Oh, wow.
Just changes the characteristics of it slightly.
Well, give me 1 second while we set this up so... Oh,
Then there's
look
mine.
what you've got. I brought these crappy little glasses, and look what you've got. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have you over for lunch more often.
It's a Christmas present from my lovely wife. But the problem is you can fit most of the bottle in this one.
Right, so I'm just going to get this up so it's all set so everyone can find it. Hopefully we are streaming. Tweets. There we go. Yes, we are. Look at that.
Brilliant.
So let me pin that to the top. Pin. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to our what I like to call through the hedgerow.
Through the hedgerow.
Through the hedgerow.
I like the sound
Our
of it.
Mead Skal Mead special. So I'm here with Ollie,
Hi.
who happens to live just up the road from me, which is amazing, and we're going to be sampling his incredible mead. And we've got some questions from you guys. If you want to send us any more questions, please do. If you send us a question, you'll be in to win your own bottle of this. We're going to talk about mead. We're going to take your questions.
Got it right here.
Oh, lovely.
It's,
That's if we don't drink it beforehand.
Yeah, no promises.
And we're going to talk about Vikings. We're going to talk about what got him into this game, and talk about who knows what. Magic and stories and all sorts of fun. So, Skull. Oh, that is good. That is really good.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. It's
That's an easy drink.
it's a dangerous drink.
It's a really, really, I have to say, a really easy drink. I tell you what, it's, it's boozy, but
it doesn't really matter too much.
no. And I was saying this to Ollie, I'm not a mead drinker. I never really liked mead, and then I tried his what was it, Christmas time last year, and they had little samplers, and I tried and I thought this is amazing, and bought myself a bottle and haven't looked back because this just is.
Well, every batch is slightly different. This one you'll probably notice is a bit drier than the previous batch.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's got the sweetness there as well.
Yep.
But it's not overpowering. And I'll tell you the reason that I've never really liked mead is because I don't really like honey.
Which is fair enough.
But in saying that, I can taste the honey in this, and I quite like it.
Yeah. Well, it's like with anything else with cooking the delicious burgers you just made us. It's balancing the flavours.
Thank you very much for saying that. Delicious.
They're amazing. I've got to come back for them again.
Open invitation if you've got to bring bottles of this, I'll tell you.
Well, I've got a little bit more interesting than just that, but we'll come to that in time.
Mm. So, what made you start brewing your own mead?
Well, a few years ago, I started doing Viking reenactment.
Mm-hmm.
I was a part of just a small group here on the Isle of Wight. I never really took part in any big fights, but there was one Battle of Hastings reenactment. I was out camping with everyone, and there were homebrew bottles being passed around everywhere. I've got an insatiable sweet tooth, and from the first time I tasted it, it just hooked me.
Yeah.
So I came back to the Isle of Wight expecting it to be pretty much standard. I bought every single bottle that I could, and none of it really hit that sweet spot for me.
Mm.
So I ended up making it over the next few years just for myself, for my own consumption. And
then you don't remember those few years afterwards.
well, I'll say that there was a
spent them drunk.
There was a particular New Year's Eve 2 years ago. I made a very experimental batch. My brother came over, and between us we went through about 20 litres in an evening.
Holy hell!
Yes, and that was at something like 18%.
Jeez.
That was a lethal night.
I bet.
The problem is, as you say, it's just so easy.
It is a really easy drink. I know I keep saying it, but it's a dangerous, easy drink. I don't want to put anyone off, but goodness me, it is a lovely, lovely drink.
Yeah, so we got to about 7-8 months ago, and my wife turned and said to me, "You should start selling this." And at the point, I was really unsure as to what I was going to do. It was after this and that, As I mentioned before, I'd spent 1.5 years making gin, so it gave me a good grasp for the alcohol game.
So that was with the
Isle of Wight Distillery.
Isle of Wight Distillery, the mermaid gin.
Absolutely, and it's top-notch gin. I never used to like it beforehand, but after tasting that, it was a bit dangerous. It gave me a taste for gin. But my heart has always lied with something a bit sweeter, and mead really is that for me.
It's really good because normally my wife and I we drink sparkling things.
Yeah.
So we love a good sparkling wine or a champagne.
Yeah.
The sparkling wine they make on the island at Edgerston.
Edgerston, yeah.
Edgerston is
a very
superb.
nice chap that owns that place. Actually.
Yeah, he's lovely. Yeah, absolutely lovely guy, and the stuff they make is just out of this world.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. However, I will say that insider secret, Edgerston Vineyard, they sent a lot of their sparkling wine to be. There's a process where you turn them each day to disrupt the sediment. They sent that up to Rosemary Vineyard while I was working there, so chances are if you had a bottle, I was there turning it every single day.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one of those small jobs.
Yeah, that was before they had their cellar underneath, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were building that at the time. It was just good fun, part and parcel with the job.
Yeah, well, whenever they get that, I go up there and I just buy a case of it.
It's great stuff.
And drink it over the course of the year. I think we've got 2 bottles left.
Yeah, there are some smashing winemakers on the island. They really know what they're doing.
And I think I'm... Drinking out of a horn is a strangely phallic, but but an amazing way of drinking.
It's a masculine experience.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah. So so you started off at making the gin.
Yeah.
And then you got yourself into to making mead, and you're making it on your own. So what gave you the push to start selling this stuff?
Well, I suppose half of it was my wife putting ideas in my head, and the other half was just saying, why not? I love doing it. I think I make something that's good. Just make a go of it. Just try it.
Yeah.
Try turning for once what you love into what you do.
Yeah.
And it's working pretty well so far.
Yeah.
I don't want to, sound arrogant or whatever, but I'm just so pleased that my efforts aren't for naught.
No, it's fantastic. So we got your website here.
Yep.
Odin's Beard. I'm over 18. Right. So I think I'm over 18. How do we get in?
Yeah, you should just click the Odin's Beard bit.
There we go. Yeah, I am over 18. There we go. So here's let me see if I move
a
this.
little blurb, a little spiel.
There we go. So www.skalmead.co.uk. And can people buy from the website?
Absolutely. There's a web store. There's only one item on there at the moment.
That will be the mead, I take it.
That will be my original recipe mead.
Oh, coming soon.
Yes. I'm going to be making my own t-shirts.
Oh, cool.
So I've got one here.
Oh, lovely.
Not that you can see, but...
Oh. See, I've got my printing stuff for my t-shirts that I make.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know you did that.
That's my skull guy there.
Oh, wicked. So I'll have to see some of your t-shirts.
I'll just hold that up to everyone. I don't think everyone's seen this. It's my one of my successful things.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, here's one of my t-shirts.
Oh, wicked.
I've tried to... all I want to do is make wearable poetry.
Oh, that's brilliant. Just bring it to more people every day.
Yeah. So I've just made all these t-shirts with just weird poetry on it.
That's cool, man.
Little bits of art that I've done.
That's wicked.
And I'm trying to make it a thing.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Freedom of expression. There's no greater expression than poetry.
Exactly.
And art.
Oh. What we got here? pork scratchings.
I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain about pork scratchings.
So we've got a few questions that have come in from various people. So let's see if we can bring up my question.
Yeah, let's get one or two of those answered.
Let's see how we go here.
Are you empty?
I am empty, yes.
You are empty. Well, I'll take that as a chance to bring out something else.
Oh.
I have in my bag of wonders a few batches which we are working on.
That one.
Which we will possibly not, bring to our seasonal range of as and when it's in season fruit meads.
Oh, fantastic. Right. So let's get this over here.
Wonderful.
Let's get some of our questions on screen. So the first question we've got is by Defying Dutchman. Is mead the first alcoholic drink in mankind history? And by when were humans making mead as opposed to stumble upon a batch that had accidentally fermented in a hollow tree? Oh, here comes George. You all right, Georgie? Yeah.
Hello, mate.
Here comes my son. Quickly come in, and then you've got to go back out and play. Just very quick. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Sorry, mate.
Come here. That's it. That's it. Oh. There we go. Say hello. And say hello to everyone.
Hello.
What have you been up to?
Oh, I don't know. But why have you got that? Is that?
What's that? That's what we're drinking out of.
No, it isn't.
Isn't it?
Yes,
So you
it
could wear
is.
it on your head, couldn't you? Okay, off you go. We'll be in soon.
Want to.
No, come on. Well, yes, come on. Off you go. Off you go, Georgie.
Go on,
The-
Mr. Vega wants to play with you.
Yeah, and we got some treats for you guys soon. Out you go. Might even get some ice cream if you're a good boy.
There we go. Oh, ice cream.
Homemade.
Oh,
Mummy's made ice cream. So, I don't know if you know the answer to this. Was mead the first alcoholic drink?
I'm not a historian, but it is, as far as I'm aware, the oldest known alcoholic drink in human history.
Really?
And to touch
Preceding
on
beer.
preceding beer by quite a long way. As far as I'm aware, there was a bottle that was found in an ancient Egyptian tomb. Yeah, a couple of thousand years later, they picked up on it, in our lifetimes, opened it, and it was still fit for human consumption.
Was it really?
After thousands of years.
You'd have to be a brave soul to
It wasn't tested by humans, it was in a lab to make
Oh,
sure
right,
it
I was
wasn't
going to
that
say.
level of arsenic. That would be dangerous.
Yeah.
But I will say honey's a wonderful thing. This...
Well, it never goes off, does it?
No. Well, a couple of thousand years have been testament to that.
Yeah. They used honey to embalm Alexander the Great.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when he died on campaign, they embalmed him in honey because honey never goes off.
Brilliant. Well, I'll have to try that as a beauty regime, perhaps.
Maybe.
Keep my youthful looks. Have you got the corkscrew over there?
Oh, corkscrew, right. There we go.
Wonderful. So this is just another us messing around in the kitchen trying to work with other different flavours.
Now, strictly speaking,
Yes.
and correct me if I'm wrong here, mead is anything that is fermented by a sugar water, isn't it?
No, mead
No?
is traditionally just a honey wine. So
Just a honey wine.
you would naturally get the sugars from the honey. However, the Finnish have a drink which is literally sugar with water and
Yeah.
yeast. They call it Kilju, Killju.
Right.
There's a lot of different people have made many different things.
Yeah. Don't mind if I do.
Now this is one that my darling wife came up with.
Oh, that
And
smells
you were
amazing.
saying earlier about you were thinking of making an elderflower.
Yeah.
Well, this is an elderberry mead.
I was going to say. Wow.
Because I don't think there's enough emphasis these days put on the berry. Skull.
Skull. Wow. That is amazing.
It's big, isn't it? It's bold.
That is amazing. Oh, Yeah, you got to sell that.
Yeah, and that was just the first sample batch.
I'm going to take you to my special, it's my special elder place because that is amazing. I can tell you now, everyone, if you're watching, this stuff it packs a punch. It's really in your mouth, isn't it?
And I didn't regulate or measure the alcohol volume in this one at all. What I do when I test batches is I set them to a time limit to see how the fruit reacts differently with the amount of honey for the same amount of yeast.
Right.
It's because I can work on alcohol by volume control later.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to work out how quickly the specific fruits would degrade and how they cope well in my current refined regime of making mead, as opposed to just brewing it out till it's God knows what percentage and seeing it then.
That is incredible. It's really syrupy, really very fruity, very syrupy, and it's just incredible. And it's such a different flavour to elderflower.
Absolutely. Everyone these days, they're a fan of elderflower, and there's an awful lot you can do with it. It's a great ingredient.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to the plant, at different times of year. You might as well take advantage of it while it was there.
No, I agree, absolutely. It's something that I do want to start playing with this year. Is the elderberry? So great question, Defying Dutchman.
Top-notch question. I'm glad to actually be able to put some vague point on it.
Yeah, and Julia Marie asked about elder. Well, we've just been talking about that, so
yeah,
incredible, absolutely incredible. What we got here? Why isn't it available in the Prancing Pony?
Because everyone knows the only brew for the brave and true comes from the Green Dragon.
Absolutely. Skull. I wondered if you would get that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we named our son Vigo after Viggo Mortensen.
There you go. Great. Oh, this is something else. This is a real treat. Here I thought my burgers were great, but this is incredible. I'm going to have I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Well, there's a little bit more to go through. We don't have to drink all of it, but I'm not going to discourage it.
So Angret Harms asks, what kind of honey is used in mead?
Well, that's a question which often gets adulterated by a lot of people who I'm sure know a lot more about mead than I do. However, I find that the simpler the honey, the better the results you're going to get. So
like a raw, just straight.
Absolutely. You need a raw honey. That's without question. But if you go for the most expensive, the most complex flavoured honey that you're going to get, you're going to bring out so many characteristics in the honey itself that are going to be emphasised by the alcohol that you really don't want in there. So you just want a simple honey as a base. And honestly, if you're just making it yourself for the first time at home, just go to Tesco, go to Asda, get the cheapest honey you can off the shelf, and you're much less likely to be disappointed with the results.
Okay.
Simple.
Fantastic. Right, next one. Really good question. This is from Viper, and Viper asks, what foods go well with mead? I'd like to just jump in here, and this is my professional opinion. Anything.
Anything, absolutely. It's one of those that really does go with anything. Personally, I quite like it with Mexican food. I love it with Mexican food. Just a little bit of sweetness.
I tell you, this would go really well with something really gamey. This,
absolutely.
This, the elderberry stuff.
Yep.
Because it's so bold. Something, like venison or something really, or wild boar.
You just need that combination of big punchy flavours.
I tell you what, I've got some wild boar in my freezer. So one day you're going to have to come over when the weather's a bit nicer. We're going to get my my barbecue out.
Brilliant.
We're going to burn up that wild pig.
Burn up the pig and drink up the mead.
Yeah.
Skull.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh, and that's that one gone.
Oh, that is so good. Whew.
It'll wake you up.
Yeah. Right.
So, thank you for your question.
Yes, and we got John Thor, and he says, shouldn't mead be drunk from a horn rather than a bowl?
Absolutely.
Always love a good. Yes, and see, we're drinking from a horn. It's a completely different experience.
It is. Well,
I've got to get myself one of these.
Well, you can pick them up from so many different places these days. It's brilliant to see where they're available. I will say, Grimfrost in particular, they make some massive horns.
Have you seen the
Like
extra
10 pinters.
extra large one?
I don't know. At that point, are you compensating for something,
Or you've got a serious problem, drinking problem. So Cal Pearson asks, I find mead can sometimes be too sweet or cloying. What is your opinion of dry meads? Mead making group I'm in on Facebook, or Face Ache he calls it, has some good dry recipes. So we were just talking about this just before.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, mead, as with every wine, it's extremely subjective. Some people like drier wines, some people like sweeter wines. I will say that the Polish in particular, they make extremely sweet meads. You know, sometimes they use 4 cups of honey to 1 cup of water. And at that point you start tasting like paint stripper.
I was going to say, that must be, alcoholic-wise, that must be through the roof.
Oh yeah, you're probably talking, about 50% at that point at least.
You're getting into liqueur territory, aren't you, really?
Oh, beyond then, you're talking strong spirit territory.
Strong spirit, yeah.
But then again, dry meads, I think, are a bit of a waste of... They're a waste of what a potential product could be. You know, it's taken us years to find the balance between sweet and not too sweet, dry but not too dry.
So that one you got there, you say is dry, but to me it's bang on.
Yeah,
that's right in my Goldilocks zone for me.
Well, the first batch that you graciously bought a bottle of us from, that was Original Mead 001, the first batch. This one is batch number 3. This has the exact same amount of honey, but the honey naturally has less sugar in it.
Right.
So it will naturally be a drier wine, but you get a lot more of the flavour through from the honey itself.
Well, that's what I was saying, because I could taste the honey. Although I could taste that, but I could really taste that. But
yeah,
it for me, as I said, I don't like the taste of honey, but I guess because it was tempered so much, that it just had a really nice undercurrent flavour, and it's a really nice aftertaste.
Well, that's where, you know, no 2 batches are going to be the same, because it is 100 litres at a time. It is such small batch, and mead is, well, honey is such a variable product by the season. You know, it's going to be different each time. That is naturally drier, but I don't know, just go for what you love.
Yeah.
Back to the question, just go for what you love. If you like a drier wine, then you'll probably like a drier mead. But I will say that you probably just need an extra little kick of sweetness beyond.
I was going to say, you say that because I like dry wines. I like dry sparkling wine, I like dry champagnes, but I prefer that a little bit sweet. I like the sweetness. Interesting fact, St Edward the Confessor.
Yeah.
Saint to all those Catholics out there. Maybe not a saint to anyone else. Anyway, he used to like half brewed mead.
Okay.
He liked it when it hadn't been completely fermented.
Okay.
Because he liked it quite sweet.
Yeah.
And he always said that it was said that it was his love of the sweet mead that gave him what they called sugar piss. Basically, he had. So my brain's gone.
Too much mead.
Yeah. He had. What's it called? Oh,
Google.
No, I'll get it. It is when you need insulin. You've got, what is it? Diabetes. Why couldn't I get it? Because you got me drunk. I think I'm already pissed. So anyway, so he died of diabetes, and but they used to call it sugar piss because your wee smelled of sugar.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. My father's diabetic, and he never shared that information with me.
Yeah, my dad was diabetic as well. He had had an unfortunate disease that basically killed his pancreas,
gosh.
and yeah, became insulin dependent. Anyway, we don't. Let's not be down
On that subject. More drink.
more drink. Right. Okay. Right. So here we go. So while you're getting this one ready, let's go for our next question. Let's bring this over here. There we go. Is the process of making mead as tedious as it sounds? And that's Amber the librarian. Thank you, Amber.
Amber. It's only as tedious as you want it to be, really.
I was going to say, it'd be quite tedious if you're sitting there watching it.
Absolutely. If you sat there thinking, I really need a drink, but it's not ready yet, that would be incredibly tedious. But, no, really, if you wanted to make it pretty simple, then you can. You can just get a demijohn, and you can mix your honey and your water.
Very perfumey.
Mix your honey and your water and put some yeast in it and walk away for a few weeks, a month, a few months, however long.
Do you know what this reminds me of? I know I keep interrupting here. It actually reminds me of the sea.
Yeah.
Like a really hot, perfumey day when you're down at the beach.
Yeah. No, I get that. So this one is and my wife always corrects me on this because I always get raspberry and blackberry mixed up. It is blackberry. Blackberry mead, handpicked by ourselves in an organic secret area.
That would be why it reminds me of the sea on a hot summer's day, because, you know, up on the cliff,
Yep.
up there, there's all the blackberry bushes that all grow along there.
Yes.
All the brambles up there.
It's
and on
beautiful,
really
isn't
hot
it?
days, it's just this perfume. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Oh, Skull.
Skal.
That is,
As you said, more perfumey.
yeah, much more perfumey, not as bold as the other one, but beautiful.
I'm going to fill your desk up with bottles soon.
That's all right. Oh, wow, that is... Oh, I could get used to that.
It's
That's
just on the
nice.
drier side again, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
quite so syrupy.
No, but it is lovely. And I love the blackberries. I think the Isle of Wight has the best blackberries in the country.
I'd be tempted to agree with you.
It's the warmth, I think, because when you bite into and you just get a burst of perfume through your entire head.
They just get so much sunlight throughout the year. I'm not surprised. I've seen blackberries on bushes out here bigger than I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're amazing. They remind me, because growing up, because I grew up in Australia, and they remind me of blackberries from Australia because of the heat.
Mm.
And you get that perfumey, not that tartness that you get elsewhere in the country, but you get that really perfumey, sweet burst of flavour.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So
you're answering a question, weren't you? Is it as tedious? Sorry, Amber,
tedious
the
as it
librarian.
sounds, it's as tedious as you want it to be. If you want to add fruit, you know, I know people that religiously add raisins to theirs for one reason or another. Just keep it simple. There's no need for it
Why
to
would
be.
you put raisins? See, I can imagine putting raisins after making wassail or something. You put your raisins and fruit with the mead, but why would you?
I couldn't answer for them as to why they do it.
It would make it
helps
quite,
them along with the process.
Would make it a little bit more syrupy though. You're going quite red.
I am going a bit red.
Am I going a bit of pink there? Oh yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah, it doesn't have to be tedious.
Oh, this is lovely.
Don't make it tedious if you don't want it to be tedious.
No, absolutely. Good question. Right, next one. Let's next one. Next question. Here we go. My brother from another mother, Brother Earth, and he asks, my question would be, what does Skal Mead taste like? Well, I think we've been answering that question all the way through.
Absolutely, it's been a continuous answer of that question.
It's and you said, I think you put it succinctly earlier. You said nectar of the gods.
The nectar of the gods.
Amazing. This is just beautiful. Oh,
I'm glad to be able to share it. That's honestly the best thing for me, is to be able to bring it to people and say, hope you like it. And if they do,
well, I love it. It's fantastic. Right, on to the next one. that was Flying Dutchman. We've already done that one, haven't we? Who we got here? This is a follow-on from. This is Lynn Evans asks a question that we had earlier, which is what type of honey do you use with mead? And she goes on to say, organic, locally sourced, or other.
So that's several questions in one, actually. So first of all, I would say that I'm of the opinion that no honey can actually be organic, because you can't control a bee. You don't know if it's going to fly 3 miles out of the way to somewhere that uses pesticides.
Or you could go the other way and say all honey is organic because it's an organic compound.
It depends if you're talking about organic as natural and chemical free, or organic as natural.
See, I get really worked up about this whole chemical free thing because everything is made of chemicals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing can be chemical free.
If we're allergic to chemicals, we'd be dead. But just by ourselves.
We wouldn't even be.
If we were in a vacuum with nothing else, we'd be making our own skin crawl.
We wouldn't be. We would just anyway. I understand what they're saying. So no, I absolutely. I get what you're saying. You can't control the bee.
Absolutely. So that's why I believe that, personally, and that's going to be a controversial point, that no honey can actually be organic.
Mm-hmm.
As far as locally sourced, the last couple of ones, experimental batches, I'm very lucky to have been able to use honey from a local supplier.
There's some great suppliers on the island. My wife likes honey, and she said that she describes the local honey here as brighter than most honey. She says it's brighter. You know, the taste is
absolutely
quite vibrant. And
it's very much alive as a honey. It's very nice, but unfortunately, this is a business at the end of the day. If I were to use local Isle of Wight honey, it would cost me about 6 times the amount I'm currently paying for what I am with my original mead. So I have a good surplus of the local honey, which I use at home, which is, once again, quite complex in flavour, so you need to be very careful with it. But it's just tremendous quality honey, and I'm amazingly grateful for being able to use that in my experimental batches. I just simply couldn't afford to use that local honey and sell it. I mean, I would have to charge about £50 a bottle. Yeah, which wouldn't make a very good business model. Maybe
you need to have your special mead, your Isle of Wight mead. That is,
that is segueing nicely onto another point, which is that I am currently in discussions with my wife, and this is
discussions
very much up for
negotiations
as to a very special edition bottle, which will be probably a limited run of about 30 bottles, very small batch, hand-blown glass bottles, local made honey.
Wow.
And it'll be aged in an oak cask for a good year or so. Not so much as it starts to taste like,
because it can be quite tannin after a while, can't it?
Absolutely. It depends what was in it beforehand. If it was a virgin cask, if it was a sherry cask. While I was at the Isle of Wight distillery, I was playing around with different casks for the whiskies for aging. And, there would be eventually a bottle where I would use specifically local honey. Probably the most expensive one that I could get my hands on, but also amazing in so many complex flavours. But that would be a couple of years of development up until that point. As far as this mead, this honey, this is UK honey. I can't officially divulge the name of the farm. However, it is not strictly speaking local, but it is UK, because I want to do right by the UK economy and by UK beekeepers, but I simply can't afford that super local, amazing quality honey that we have here. It's really good honey. It's just not that artisan product that you would usually buy.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough.
I've probably killed the question at this point. Good question. Thank you very much.
A really good question, and I think you answered it fantastically. So, I think that's all our questions. Let me have a look. Let me make sure I haven't missed anyone. If I've missed anyone, please. Blah, 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 blah. if I've missed any questions, please send them on, and we will answer them in due course. So, it started off with just oh, hang on, let me get that.
Just time for a little top up of this one.
I was going to say palate cleanser. Wow.
So that's how much is left in the bottle. And we've gone through those as well so far.
And let's make sure it doesn't descend into chaos. So let's look. So you've got your Island Forged T-shirt.
Yep.
The official logo and Adventurer T-shirt.
Take a look at the official logo, the actual page. I had a little bit of the official logo T-shirt.
Right, yeah.
I was honestly just getting bored.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, it must
it's
have timed out.
There we go. Here we go. Oh,
Really?
That's all right. There we go.
So, Skal Mead, that's just the logo that's on the bottle, the logo that's on my T-shirt, on the breast.
Now, your wife's brother did the artwork.
Yes, my brother-in-law. It's been a couple of months of backwards and forwards, as per usual, but he is just a phenomenal artist. At the moment, he's being tied up with a lot of tarot cards. He does specifically dragon-inspired ones for this client. Just an amazing artist. He does such ridiculous attention to detail that I wouldn't have believed unless I could see the originals.
Wow.
I'm just so lucky to have someone like that around.
That's really interesting. Coming back to this after tasting those others. Yeah, it can really. I would have thought. I know I'm changing the subject. I would have thought that having the others coming back to this, it would have been almost the flavors would have been dampened, but I can actually taste almost more flavors.
Yep.
Now it's a really complex.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just development, as with any other product, but just so happens I really like drinking this one.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It was absolutely painstaking, I can tell you.
So have you used this in cooking at all? Or would you just drink it?
I haven't so far. So far, I've just drunk it. However, there's...
Ollie is a chef, by the way.
I used to be a chef.
Retired
Chef. I'm sick of that chef, pretty much. Yeah, there's a chef at Ventnor Botanic Gardens. He's a very nice chap. He was talking about putting it in a beef stew, which I think sounds pretty lovely. You get the rich flavours come through from the beef, but honestly a little bit of tartness from the alcohol content in the meat.
Yeah. And the sweetness, it'd really come through. That would really work well with the...
Personally, I quite like to put it with, as I said earlier, spicy foods, but things like pork and lamb, naturally rich foods. They just go so well. Just think of anything that honey goes with.
Well, I used some of it, excuse me, in making an apple and rhubarb pie, actually. I used it.
How did it go down?
It was lovely. Absolutely lovely. I had some rhubarb left over from that, so this was in January. So I had some rhubarb in the freezer that I'd cooked up from last spring.
Brilliant.
And I thought, what are we going to do with this? You know, and I thought, let's make an apple and rhubarb pie, because I don't particularly like rhubarb on its own. Yeah. So I was cooking up the apple. I thought, I'm going to put some of that in, because we were just sort of sitting there drinking it. And it really lifted it. It was really nice. Yeah. Well, it worked really well, because I put some lemon juice in there as well. Oh, brilliant. And it just really, it cut through the lemon juice, and it just was beautiful.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so pleased you had such a good experience with it, and I've used it in so many ways. I haven't had the chance yet because I've been too drunk. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a responsible parent. But there's the odd moment like this where it's just glorious to have a drink.
It is fantastic. So I think we're coming to the end of our little... Oh, hang on. Hang on a second.
This is cloudy.
This is there's a late entrant into the booze races here.
We can't quite stop it yet. I have a batch of apple mead.
Ooh, okay.
And I suppose, yeah, strictly speaking, we've been talking about adding fruits to mead like it is still then mead. Yes, naturally, after you add fruit to a mead, it becomes a melomel. French term. As we know, the Vikings took mead to France, taught them how to make it. They added fruit to it, and dubbed the name melomel.
Well, we didn't. We know now.
So the Vikings taught the French how to make honey wine.
Wow.
In exchange for red wine and all sorts of wonderful things.
Ooh.
Once again, locally sourced honey, locally sourced Isle of Wight apples. We don't have to drink all that because that will have us on the floor.
I was going to say that would knock us out.
Skull. This is a lot more subtle in the apple flavour.
Ooh. I don't know that it's that subtle at all. It's
No.
quite...
First time I tasted that, I thought it needs about 4 or 5 times the amount of apple.
I don't think it does.
No?
No, it tastes... Maybe it does. no, it's really nice, you know. It's definitely not a cider flavour at all.
No.
The apple is definitely coming through. It tastes like late summer apples.
Absolutely.
That's what it tastes like.
In fact, they were late summer Bramley apples.
I was going to say, are they Bramley?
They are indeed Bramleys.
Yeah, I can taste in it. It tastes like late summer apples that you have stewed up with nothing else, and this is what it reminds me of. My grandfather, he used to stew them up, late summer Bramleys, just stew them up, and he'd put them on toasted oats.
Oh, wow.
He'd toast these oats, like, rolled oats,
Yeah.
like porridge oats.
Yeah.
Toast them up in a fry pan, and then he just put this, and it was just incredible.
Man. That sounds amazing. Just something to have. I could eat it for breakfast, let's be honest. But
I could
late
drink that
in
for
the
breakfast. That's what it tastes. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh.
And it tastes of late summer, early autumn. It's beautiful.
Well, this is probably by far the least developed of the 3 secret batches that we've been testing. Because let's face it, no one outside the family has tasted these yet.
Oh, well, I feel very honoured. See, I'm losing my words.
You mean pissed, right?
Yeah, I can certainly tell that it's not as developed. Because it's got that real sweetness to it. It's and it doesn't have that kick.
Absolutely.
That is really good.
But it just goes to show, you can...
It's
if you're
more of a
watching
dessert.
this and thinking...
That will be more of a dessert thing at this
Oh,
stage.
absolutely.
It's so sweet. And...
No, you'd have... Oh, yeah, absolutely. But if you're watching this and thinking, God, this looks really difficult to make, it's not.
Don't give your secrets away. You want to try and sell this stuff.
I do.
It's really difficult to make. Don't try and make it. Buy it from Ollie.
You're not going to be able to make it as well as me. But, if you want to make it yourself at home, you've never tried mead, just do it. Demijohn, yeast, honey, water. Find your proportions.
And what sort of yeast should you use? Obviously not bread yeast.
A lot of people recommend champagne yeast. I find that they are perhaps...
Sparkling wine yeast.
Sparkling wine yeast. I find perhaps that they're a little bit too aggressive.
I was going to say, have you tried doing a secondary fermentation on any of this?
I haven't. I've done an awful lot of research on meads and secondary fermentation. The overall consensus that I came up with...
Don't do it.
It doesn't like it. You'll open it up and expect something like a bottle of champagne. The fizzle will be gone in about 2 minutes.
Right.
If you're going to do a champagne yeast, apparently, and this is not from my own, this is just from researching, you're best off doing a forced carbonation.
Right. Okay.
Just shoving carbon dioxide into the bottle.
I think we've got some questions here that I'm missing. Sorry if I'm missing questions. Hang on, here we go. What for pork scratchings? Pork scratchings, I agree, will go
Pork
very well.
scratchings.
Put to pork scratchings. Are there any other kind?
Actually, you say that. I once made duck scratchings.
Duck scratchings?
Duck
What, with the
scratchings.
webbing?
With the skin that you
the
naturally
skin.
get on a duck breast.
Why did I think the webbing? Yeah, I'll tell
The
you what.
webbing. Takes me back to China.
I was going to say, it's from Hong Kong, eating duck webbing.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely. It's
amazing.
everywhere.
It's
Have
amazing.
you had stinky tofu while you were out there?
Yeah, I have.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you tried... actually, we won't get onto that.
That's another subject.
Basically, duck webbing. I reckon it'd go well with this, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe not this one, but certainly with
Well,
me.
it's fatty, it's rich.
Yeah. So Fifi says this is so great, informative, and enjoyable to watch. I feel a little tipsy. I tell you, I think we might be past a little bit tipsy.
I've got to walk home after this, and I'm
That's
glad
only up-
I've got my wife to hold my hand.
It's only up the road. You'll be all right.
Yeah. You'll be right.
I really like that apple one.
Yeah.
They're really nice dessert with that sweetness.
Well, the goal is to try to make everything, ideally, everything isn't ideal, that kind of general, as you said, you can have it with anything type drink. So, with this one, it's tricky. It's a bit of a dilemma because, as you say, it is so suited to desserts. But I want to make it a bit easier to drink at any time, but I don't want to lose what makes it special. So that's probably going to be one of the last ones I end up releasing.
Well, that's really nice. I really enjoyed that. That actually...
Would you like a top-up?
Yeah, go on. It'd be rude to say no, I think.
Not necessarily rude, it's just, self-protecting, if anything else.
I was just going to say, I'm very good at pretending to be sober from my teenage years.
We all like to think that, don't we?
When my mother, had a rule in our house, and the rule was that every night, no matter what time, we had to come in, give her a kiss goodnight, say goodnight.
That's a very nice rule.
It's a lovely rule. Until I found out in my late 30s, the reason that she did it was so she could smell our breath.
Oh my god! Oh, I need a top up as well. That's brilliant. My mother would have had me out of the house years ago.
To smell our breath. My mother is
So where
a
did you grow
devious
up
woman.
in Australia, if you don't mind me
Where?
asking?
Well, it's a good question.
All over the place.
Well, not so much. Well, in Sydney, but I went to boarding school, so
okay.
I went to public school, so I was a posh boy.
Good old New South Wales.
New South Wales, yeah. But also grew up in rural New South Wales, in the country. I found to have quite a big farm up there. But I went to boarding school, and so I never had that thick accent.
I thought there was an Aussie twang there, but I never twigged it until you'd said Australia.
And the drunker I get, the thicker it becomes. So Amy will know that I've had too much.
Well, apparently when I get drunk I start sounding like an Australian. So I need more drink apparently.
But my brothers and sisters, they've got the thickest accents.
Yeah.
Really, g'day, mate.
Like proper bogus.
Proper Aussies. I don't even know if I'm doing the accent right. I tried to sound Australian, and they thought, "What's the worst accent?" The nuns beat it out of me.
Yeah.
Skull.
Might be Oz, but tonight we're Vikings.
Exactly. But my family all sort of my father was born on the island, and and I was not born on the island, but
You spent time over it.
I spent many years early
Yeah.
early years, and then we moved to Australia and spent my sort of teenage into my 20s, and then anyway.
I'm sorry to cut in, man, but having a beard, drinking this much beer, my moustache is getting sticky. You're watching me, and I'm just.
He's just checking himself out.
No, it's because my moustache is getting sticky and it's sticking to my lips. It's so uncomfortable.
So before this goes completely off the rails, and we draw the winner of the competition. Are you still doing the Viking reenacting stuff?
I'm not. Unfortunately, when I was involved with that, it was a case of either I had the time to do it or I had the money. One or the other. You know, it was expensive for equipment, for travel.
Yeah.
You know, but
I thought you were going to say you got back there, we'd all been slaughtered.
No. No, I slay. I don't get slaughtered.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately I'm not still a part of that. I have actually been very positively received by the Viking Society, the organisation that runs it all, and they said that they're happy for me to have a mead stall at events, but there's discussion about me rejoining. So potentially in the future, yes, I could. I would be absolutely so happy to rejoin.
Because one of the things I want to do. So do you know about our last king?
Our last king, no.
Our last king, Alwyn. He was the last pagan king in England, and the last king of the Isle of Wight.
Wow.
And it's an amazing story. He and either his two sons or his two brothers went out. You know, the island was invaded. He massed an army, and they were slaughtered. And their children, when he sent the kids off, whether they were his sons or his brother, and they eventually got caught on the mainland and forced to convert to Christianity, and then. But the bloodline still lived on because the sister of Alward went on to marry the King of Kent.
Now you're going to tell me you're a direct descendant.
I'm a direct descendant.
Yeah.
No, but Alfred the Great, direct descendant.
Wonderful.
So the royal line of the Isle of Wight still lived on, and in a tenuous sort of way still lives on in the current iteration. Anyway,
that's amazing.
So I want to film. I want to film the last day, the last stand of Alward. And what I want to do is I want to go talk to reenactors.
Yep.
And I want to stick like a Goko on their head.
Yeah.
Not Goko. That's Go Compare.
I was thinking Goku from Dragon Ball Z, but
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The camera.
Yeah.
Stick
Go Compare. a GoPro.
A GoPro.
Go.
And you know, like film some scenes and things, and direct them and reenact that last battle.
Well, I still have a few friends who, obviously, it's entirely dependent on them. May or may not be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine who, for instance, goes around and teaches Dark Age and medieval history through schools.
I'm a historian. Did you know that? Actually, I'm a historian. I'm actually a doctor.
I am not worthy, sir.
I am actually a doctor. I'm Dr. Paul.
Holy crap! Nice to meet you, Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
I am alcoholic on it.
And my mum always introduced this. This is my son, the doctor. The people would ask, "Oh, I've got this thing, right?" I was like, yeah, I'm not that sort of doctor. I'm the real doctor.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
But don't be worried. You're not going to break any holes in time and fabric and space.
No, but my Dalek might.
I'm a bit concerned with having him behind me all the time, I must say.
He's been quite quiet, isn't he?
If I put my hand on him, will he reactivate?
He might. He's the worst. He's the worst. He's the worst sort of exterminate. He's the worst sort of flatmate, roommate is.
He's a bit quiet, isn't he?
Yeah, but when he does start talking, he tries to kill you.
Yeah, I bet.
Anyway, we should get on and draw this this winner. So, how should we do this? Should we put some names in a hat, or shall we? Oh, hang on. We've got some things come through here. So great.
Homemade sauce today. Yep. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
lush.
Yeah, Vanessa.
Oh my god, this guy can cook.
Thank you. And you're the retired chef. I'll give you some of that stuff. You can take it with you. I've got plenty of it.
I'll leave some potato salad for you as well.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely lovely potato. I was going to say, give me that recipe for that other potato salad as well. Will you?
You would be ashamed of us if we told you.
Right. Okay. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do a little random thingy here. Or yeah, let's I'll tell you what. Pick a number between 1 and 10, and I'll use that as the seed.
2.
Okay. 2. Right. Hold on, and we are going to. And the winner is. Let's have a look here.
Are you sure this is a scientific process?
It is a scientific process. Absolutely scientific process.
Sorry, I'm doubting the doctor.
Yeah, don't do it. I'm a doctor. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Let's
It's more like a rug, really.
And the winner is Lynn Evans with what type of honey is used for mead, organic and locally sourced or other.
I was actually going to choose that one if I had my own choice.
Well, there we go. So I was
Brilliant.
reading your
It
mind.
works out.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Lynn, send me a direct message and we'll get your details. You are over 18, I hope. Let's have a check. Yeah, when you do look, you're on the cusp. I think 16.
Oh,
Are you 18?
just pushing
Lynn?
16, I reckon. You need to make sure that we know that you're 18, otherwise I'm breaking the law. Here.
She does say she's a teacher, so I'll say that, and a proofreader.
So she must be at least 12.
There we go. Please, Lynn, send us your details.
And this is yours.
And beautiful, lovely. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're gonna have to do another one of these sometime. Hang on, let me just have this.
God, I'm finished mine. Keep up.
Sorry. Oh. That's not the face of one not enjoying it. That's the face of someone taking a big swig and just getting hit of alcohol.
Too much.
Yeah. So thank you very much for everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been an absolute blast for me, I can tell you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ollie. Right now, how do we stop this?
I think there's a button that
There we go.
says stop somewhere.
There we go. Bye-bye.